Good morning, everyone. I'm TJ, and I'm back with a new blog on knowing everything about Tadoba. So Tadoba remains closed from 1st of July to 30th of September. So no point going during that time. The official websites also tell you the same. The best time is of course summer because there is it is dry and there is no thick foliage, so you can spot the tigers better. I went in the month of June. I went there on the 19th of June. Now, every Tuesday also the park remains closed. But let me tell you that the main gates, so there are the core gates and then there are the gates in the non-core area also. So the core gates remain closed on Tuesday, but the other gates, the buffer gates, remain open during Tuesday, and there are other days that they remain closed, some of them on Wednesday. Now, the main gates, it is always advisable to have at least 2 trips. So we went for 2 days and we made 4 safaris. The crow is there. I know he's disturbing you, but bear. I'm a nature person, so. Uh, so we went for 2 days and we did 4 safaris. So morning, afternoon, morning, afternoon. Morning time safaris get filled up very, very fast. Ideally you should book your safari bookings 1 month before, because you do not get any availability within that range, especially during the summers. We went on June 19th, and it just began to rain when we reached. Now the it was the first rain, so it didn't affect our tiger spottings. But if it starts raining heavily, they do not like to come out in the rain. They get a little lazy, maybe perhaps, or not wanting to roam around. But having said that, tigers need to mark their area. So every time it rains, their marking goes off. So they will have to come back and mark the area. So then there is a chance that there is a possibility that you will see them. But when it rains, it creates puddles in the forest also. So they will not come out searching for the water. Now on the 19th you have to, if you have to do it, you can do it in a very, very thought out, intelligent way, so much so that you will spend very little. So we were 6 of us, and I think we didn't spend more than 24,000 for a couple. Okay, so how it goes, let me tell you that. So we booked our morning flight we went from Pune to Nagpur. So if you're going from Pune, we booked the morning flight from Pune. That is the early morning 7 o'clock flight. So we reached the airport at around 5:30. We were 6:45, I think the flight was. So we reached there 1.5 hours ago, or 2 hours ideally. And we reached Nagpur at 8:30. The flight was on time. And then from there we immediately left to we had booked our tickets in MTDC. Now why MTDC? Because it is very close to these parks, and the pickup comes there. So they have a tie-up because being the government themselves, they have a tie-up with the forest officials in the forest. So there is a pickup arranged. Of course we pay a little separately for it, but then there is no hassle about arranging a pickup and all that, and it is very close to the Khursapar core gate. Now these gates are all distributed at different areas, so you have to find out where you are, which gate you want to go, and what is the closest place that you would like to live at. MTDC, Khursapar, and but the other buffer zones that are close to it, I can write it in the description box. They are a little further. It took us half an hour to go to the buffer zone. Okay, but Khursapar was just 10 minutes. So now we left 8:30. By the time we checked out and everything, our taxi was waiting there. So we booked a taxi before. By 9:15 we were in the Innova to leave to MTDC. On the way there are no restaurants. Okay, it's not like the Pune Bangalore highway or Pune Mumbai highway. You don't see restaurants at all. Either you have it right there at the airport. Outside the airport there are tea stalls. You can have your tea there if you're a tea or a coffee lover, and you have to have it in the mornings. But then there was Haldiram on the way just after about an hour from when we left Nagpur. So we had our snacks, we had our breakfast there, and we reached MTDC. We reached MTDC by 12:30, 10:30, 11, about 3 hours, little less than 3 hours. We had already told MTDC that we'll be having a lunch there. So we just checked in, got ourselves freshened up, and we went and had our lunch. MTDC does not have great food there. They have very, very limited choices, but it suffices. I mean, for me, the passion was the tigers and going to the safari, so food was not on the top of the list. Then we had a photo session because it's very beautiful. See, all these MTDC resorts are on premium areas, so it is very scenic. So we took a lot of pics and stuff like that. And so our safari was at 3:30. Okay, so the 3 o'clock the pickup will come there, and then we leave for the safari. So 3 o'clock, by 3 o'clock we were all ready. We sat into all hoping that we would see the tiger, and it had started to rain. It was raining heavily. Now the jeeps also have the covers. Now when we go to the, now another thing is, in Pench, we were not living in MTDC, and I don't know whether there is that option. But in Pench, we had to go reach there at least 45 minutes before, because then we had to stand in lines to get assigned the driver and the safari jeep for every safari. Okay, versus in Tadoba, the driver himself got the jeep assigned to us, because this driver was only drop. He was only pick and drop. The safari jeep was the same one. I mean, similar ones, but a different jeep and a different driver was assigned to us when we reached near the gate. So we got all that done and we began our safari. And it was pouring, heavily pouring. So we were very concerned as to what is going to happen. After a while, it stopped to rain. It's when we went a little inside and we saw the mama bhanja. So this is a pair, both males, but they have not full grown males, and hence they live together. Only they are spotted all the time together, and it was a beautiful sign. They were just under a tree resting. So mama bhanja was what we saw on the very first day, and it was beautiful. After that, we see Pench. We spot a lot of animals. We do not spot as many other animals. Like, I mean, the spotted deer becomes a part of the scenery itself. So we see the spotted deer, and we saw the sambar, and we saw the bisons. We saw the jungle fowl. Also beautiful birds, because since I'm an avid bird watcher, the rares, the serpent eagle, buzzards, all those type of birds. Also we saw the different colored kingfishers, and the pied kingfisher, the state bird of Maharashtra, the green pigeon, and a lot of birds also. So if you're wanting to go for birds, please do carry your binoculars. Okay, one more very important thing to remember is mobiles are just not allowed in Tadoba. No plastic zone. So I'm so look up to them for this. You cannot carry any plastics. You can carry snacks, but in proper dabbas that you will carry them back. Steel dabbas, glassware. Water bottles also in non-plastic containers, steel containers. No mobiles allowed. The mobiles are kept in the jeep itself. This is something very important to remember. Please don't keep your mobiles back in the resort. You can carry them in the jeep. They provide you a locker which is kept with the guide. So a guide is always assigned to us. So a locker, a small tin cases there, in that they are kept, and it is locked, and the key is with the guide. So it's a matter of fact that you don't use them, and people get overexcited when they have the mobiles and start clicking pictures. And there are cameras on rent also there, but it would be ideal to carry your own. When you book tickets 1 month before, you have to choose the right gates. Please be very careful when you book the tickets, because if by chance you put a wrong time or a wrong date, the safari is gone. The safari is about 1,000 rupees per person. In fact, a little lesser it comes up to, if you do it from the official website. If you do it through an agent, there is a premium price. But if you do it yourself 1.5 months before, I think that is the best. This is what we did. We booked it a month ago, a little bit before, 1.5 months before, and we got the safaris. Generally, the core gates get closed first. Okay, so ideally book them first. So now we began the safari. We had the ticket. The tickets have to be in a printed form Also carry cash, because the cash has to be given to the guide and the driver and whatever. They take cash, because why? Because the mobile GPay, there is no range, so GPay will not work there. Okay, so now all the mobile phones are kept with the guide, and we begin. And we saw the Mama Bhanja the first day, and the second day, this was the afternoon. So 3:30 safari, we saw the Mama Bhanja. The next day morning, the safari is at 6:30. So we have to reach there by 6, and it goes on till 9:30. So 3 hours, okay. And then that day we saw the female tigress with her cubs. Bijli, I think it was. Her name is Bijli. So different cores, different markings are there, and they do not enter each other's marking unless a young female has come and she wants to take over the older female's area. Otherwise, they keep to themselves, to their areas. And we saw her 2 cubs, and they did a catwalk. It was awesome. Okay. Third afternoon, it had opened up, and yet we did not see any tiger, but we saw the wild dogs. And on the last day, we saw a fresh leopard hunt. Leopards are very rare sightings, which are spotted a lot in Pench. I mean, we spotted it there. Tadoba is mostly tigers. There are a huge number of tigers, but there are mainly 19 tigers in those core areas. But there is a huge number, in 1,000, but they are into the heart of the jungle. Okay, so this is my Tadoba trip. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comment box, and I'll be happy to tell you. MTDC is just 5,000 for a couple per room. They had decent food. The staying was pretty okay. It was quite clean. You shouldn't be expecting something very luxurious, but it was decent and kept quite nice. But the pickup and all that, it's a huge plus. So please do that. After that, the last day we did the first day we did the afternoon safari. The next day the morning and afternoon, and the last day that we were going to check out. So we checked in. Suppose we checked in on the 19th of afternoon, we checked out on 21st afternoon. So 21st morning, again we did morning safari. We did it in the buffer zone. Sometimes it is probable that buffer zones could be huge tiger spottings. And we left around, we had our lunch there, a quick lunch, and 11:30 we had checked out. On the way back, we saw Baba Amte's, Prakash Amte's very nice area where he worked so much for the leprosy patients. He has a place where he gives a lot of encouragement to folk. We went there. We wanted to donate a little something for that very good cause, and then we reached Nagpur. Our flight was late, 11 o'clock. You can take a little earlier one also. Nagpur, all your RB, some of your cars are allowed. They have a okay lounge, nothing great in there, nothing much to eat inside, if you ask me per se. So have something out and then go. And then night 12:30 we had already reached. So in the night. So this was great, and it wasn't very expensive. 5,000 for this, and 5,000 to 10,000 plus the safaris, 15,000. The Innova and the flight and everything didn't exceed 25,000 for 2 people. So please do. I hope you've liked it. Let me know if it was helpful. Thank you, and you have a good day.